An object moving at a constant velocity must blank. So our choices are have a net force acting on it, which is definitely not true. If an object has a net force acting on it, then it should experience a change in its motion, or in other words, some kind of acceleration. So in order to have a net force acting on it, the object would have to not have a constant velocity. It must be accelerating. So that's not a good choice. Next we have not have a force of friction acting on it. And that's not necessarily true. When we think about a car moving at a constant velocity, the force provided by the car's engine that drives it forward is going to be equal to the force of friction, which tries to hold the car back. So in this case, the forces are balanced, resulting in the constant velocity. So it's not necessarily true that an object must not have a force of friction acting on it to have a constant velocity, as we can see from this case. This case disproves that statement. Next we have not have a force of gravity acting on it. And again, we can disprove that using an example. We think about a box sitting on the surface of Earth. The force of gravity acts on the box, but then equal and opposite to that force is the normal force. Oh, sorry, actually we're considering a case where the object is moving at a constant velocity. So let's think about a box that is free falling but has reached terminal velocity. So in that case, the weight is acting downwards and the force of friction is acting upwards. So air resistance is resisting this object's fall towards Earth's surface. And it's moving at a constant velocity because the two forces are balanced. So they're equal and opposite in direction. So we've come up with a case where the force of gravity acts on an object, but it still has a constant velocity. So this is disproved. Next we have eventually stop due to the force of gravity. And that's definitely not true. We can go back to our example of the car moving with constant velocity. If it does eventually stop, it will be because it ran out of gas, not because the force of gravity acts on the car. And then finally we have all forces acting on it in balance. So that is true. An object moving at a constant velocity must have all forces acting on it in balance. So like this example of the car, the force of friction and the force from the engine act on it in balance, which causes it to have the constant velocity.